Rewire your brain to find peace in the silence. Stoic philosophy. Welcome to this space of thought, reflection, and inner transformation. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by noise, distractions, and the endless stream of thoughts that never seem to stop, you are not alone. Many of us spend our days surrounded by external chaos and internal chatter. But what if I told you that you could rewire your mind to find peace, not by escaping the world, but by learning to embrace silence? Today, we'll explore how Stoic philosophy can help you reshape your relationship with silence, quiet your inner storms, and build mental resilience. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to this channel to receive more inspiring reflections on philosophy, peace, and personal growth. 1. The power of silence. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. In a world that values constant talking, posting, and reacting, silence can feel strange, even uncomfortable. But for the Stoics, silence was not a void to be filled. It was a space for clarity. When we step into silence, our thoughts rise to the surface. At first, it can feel overwhelming. We may notice worries, fears, or regrets that have been buried beneath distractions. This is why many people run from silence. Yet, it is within this quiet that we can observe our minds clearly, without filters. Silence becomes a mirror, reflecting our inner world. The Stoics understood this deeply. They saw quiet moments as opportunities to examine their judgments, correct their thinking, and align their actions with reason. 2. Rewiring the brain through reflection. Our brains are like rivers shaped by habits. If you constantly surround yourself with noise, your mind learns to depend on it. But when you intentionally spend time in silence, your brain begins to adapt. Neuroscientific studies show that regular periods of quiet activate the brain's default mode network, a system involved in memory, imagination, and self-awareness. This is where deep insights occur. The Stoics didn't use modern science, but their practices reflected this wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful than your own soul." He practiced returning to silence, not to escape, but to reorient his mind toward truth. Over time, this rewiring builds resilience. Silence teaches the mind to find calm even amidst chaos. 3. The modern noise trap. Today, silence is rare. From the moment we wake up, we are bombarded with notifications, advertisements, and endless streams of information. Many people keep music, podcasts, or videos playing all day to avoid the discomfort of their own thoughts. This is not harmless. Constant noise prevents the brain from processing emotions and experiences. It leaves us mentally exhausted, yet emotionally disconnected. When the Stoics spoke of living according to nature, part of what they meant was returning to simplicity, removing unnecessary distractions to see life as it truly is. By choosing silence even briefly each day, we break the trap. We create space for thought, healing, and clarity. 4. Observing without judgment. When silence comes, so do thoughts, often chaotic, repetitive, or critical. Instead of fighting them, Stoic philosophy invites us to observe without judgment. Epictetus taught that we should distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. Our thoughts will appear, but our response is what matters. Instead of trying to suppress them, allow them to rise and fall like waves. Notice them, but do not become them. This simple shift rewires the brain. Rather than reacting automatically, we become conscious witnesses of our own minds. Over time, thoughts lose their power to control us. 5. Silence as a training ground. Stoics viewed daily life as training for the mind. Just as athletes train their bodies, philosophers trained their souls. Silence was one of the greatest teachers. Sitting quietly, even for a few minutes, strengthens mental discipline. It reveals your habitual patterns, your worries, impulses, and attachments. In silence, you see yourself clearly. And once seen, you can change. This is why silence is not weakness. It is strength. It is where courage begins. Not the loud, dramatic kind, but the quiet resilience that holds firm in uncertainty. 6. Returning to the present moment. Seneca often reminded his readers that most of our suffering comes from the past and future, not the present. Silence helps us return to the present moment. When you remove external noise, you notice the subtle details, your breath, the rustle of leaves, the distant hum of life. The mind softens, anxiety lessens. You return to what actually exists right now. This practice rewires the mind to be grounded instead of scattered. Over time, peace becomes not a temporary escape, but a familiar home you can return to at will. 7. The courage to be with yourself. One of the reasons people avoid silence is that it reveals uncomfortable truths. Loneliness, regret, self-doubt, all surface when distractions fade. Stoicism doesn't tell you to avoid these feelings. It teaches you to face them with courage and reason. When Marcus Aurelius was emperor, ruling a vast and chaotic empire, he found moments each day to retreat into himself. He didn't run from his thoughts. He examined them. This inner retreat gave him strength to face external chaos with calm. If silence feels uncomfortable at first, know that this is part of the journey. Like any muscle, inner stillness grows with practice. 8. Daily practices to embrace silence. You don't need to retreat to a monastery to find peace. Start small. Dedicate a few minutes each day to silent reflection. Turn off your devices. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and observe. Walk in nature without headphones. Eat a meal without music or screens. Begin and end your day in silence, even briefly. Over time, these practices will rewire your brain. You will notice more clarity, emotional stability, and inner strength. Silence will stop feeling empty and start feeling sacred. 9. Stoic journaling and silence. Stoic philosophers often combined silence with journaling. At the end of each day, they would sit in quiet reflection, asking, "What did I do well? What could I have done better? What will I improve tomorrow?" This practice deepens self-awareness. It allows the mind to process experiences and align actions with values. When done in silence, journaling becomes more than writing. It becomes a mirror for the soul. 10. Resilience through inner stillness. When life brings chaos, silence can become your anchor. Instead of being swept away by emotions or events, you return to your inner stillness. This is what Stoics called apatheia, not indifference, but serenity born from understanding what you can control. Silence strengthens this understanding. In quiet moments, you remind yourself, I may not control the world, but I control my mind. This realization brings freedom. 11. Silence and true connection. Interestingly, silence doesn't isolate us, it deepens connection. When you are comfortable with silence, you listen better. You become fully present with others. Conversations gain depth, and relationships grow stronger. Seneca wrote that wise people are never truly alone, for they are in good company with their thoughts. By befriending silence, you bring calm presence into every interaction. 12. An invitation to transform. This journey is not about perfection. It's about returning, again and again, to silence, reflection, and reason. Stoic philosophy shows us that peace is not found in the external world, but cultivated within. As you rewire your brain through silence, you'll find that challenges lose their power to overwhelm you. Your mind becomes a place of strength. If this message speaks to you, subscribe to this channel for more Stoic reflections, guided philosophical meditations, and timeless wisdom to help you live with clarity and purpose. Thank you for joining me in this journey toward inner stillness. May silence become your teacher, your guide, and your source of strength. Take a moment right now, before you move on, to simply sit in quiet. Feel your breath. Notice your thoughts. Be here. And remember, peace is not found by seeking more noise, but by learning to rest in the silence that has always been within you. If you found this inspiring, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Together, we can explore Stoic wisdom and reshape the way we live, think, and find peace.